Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, everyone.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are from Group 4, and today we will present about type of test. First of all, I would like to thank to the Almighty God, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, who has given us strength so we all can hear, hopefully in good condition. And thank you to Miss Dian for giving us chance to present our material. And not forget to give salawat and salam to our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Before we begin, let me introduce my group. My name is Anisa Nurul Khofifah as presenter and moderator.
My name is Anindya of Kayla as presenter.
And my name is Ainah Sari as presenter.
So in here, we will explain about placement test, proficiency test, and aptitude test. The first material will be delivered by Anindya. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Anisa. So everyone, here I would like to explain you about placement test. In this placement test, here we have keyword which is place. So placement tests are intended to provide information that will help to place student at the stage or in the part of the teaching program most appropriate to their abilities. So from this definition, we can conclude that placement test is to place student in area that are suitable with their abilities. So typically, they are used to assign students to classes at different levels. So maybe you guys already know there are some levels in English which are A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, and C2. So that kind of test is also, we can call it a placement test. And wait, I'm sorry. Arthur Hughes in her book, testing for language teachers, explained that we can buy a placement test, but they said also it is not always appropriate because all schools not in the same level, not in the same situation. So one possible exception that we can use is we make our own placement test for our students, or maybe we can use a placement test for language schools because there will be similarity in the language schools so that it will resemble to each others. So the placement tests that are most successful are those constructed for particular situations. Arthur said that it is depend on the identification of the key features at different levels of teaching in the institutions or in the schools. They are tailor-made rather than both of the peg. So this is usually means that if we use this, it means that it have been produced in-house or we made it ourselves. So everyone, placement test is a certain proficiency test can act in the role of placement test. The purpose of uh, which is to place a student into a particular level or section of a language curriculum or school. So usually a placement test is but not always, includes a sampling of the material to be covered in the various courses in a curriculum. Students' performances on the task should include the point at which the student will find their own abilities, whether the material is difficult for them or not. And one of the example of placement test is the English as a second language placement test, or ESLP1, at San Francisco State University. Based on Based on this example, there are three parts in this test, which are: in part one, students read a short article and then they write a summary essay based those based on this article. In part two, students write a composition in response to an article. And in the last part, this is a multiple choice. Students read an essay and identify grammar errors in it. So everyone, most of the ESL courses at San Francisco involve a combination of reading and writing with a heavy emphasis on writing. So it is more focused in writing. And based on those three parts that I have already explained, the first part of the test acts as both of test reading comprehension and a test of writing. And the second part, which are they write the compositions, it means that it requires students to state opinions and to back them up, a task that forms a major component of the writing course. And for the last part, which are the multiple choices, the students is proofreading drafts of essays that will be useful, and the exercise in error detection simulates the proofreading process. So placement test is actually have many varieties, and assessing comprehension and production, responding through written and oral performance, open-ended and limited responses are the examples of placement tests. And the ultimate objective of a placement test, or the main purpose of placement test, is to correctly place a student into a course or level. And other than that, it is also to consider or include face validity, diagnostic information on students' performance and authenticity. So simply put, a placement test is the test that the institution or the schools or the teachers use to know where the student can be put or can be placed in appropriate area, so that we can know one of its students' abilities. So yeah, that's all from me for the placement test material. I'll return back to moderator.
Okay, thank you so much, Anindya, for the amazing explanations. And now it is proficiency test that will be delivered or explained by me. So we start from definitions. Proficiency test is designed to measure a person's ability to use a language effectively. So in bahasa Indonesia, secara harfiah proficiency test means tes keahlian, kemahiran atau kecakapan. And in this test, there are characteristics. The first is look to the future situations, which means in previously we have learned about achievement test. So in achievement test it is related to the past in that they measure what learners have learned language as a result of teaching. Meanwhile, proficiency tests look at the future situations of language use without necessarily any reference to the previous process of teaching. So in Indonesia, achievement test ini mengukur apa yang telah dipelajari sebelumnya, sedangkan proficiency test ini tidak perlu lagi kita untuk melihat proses dari pengajarannya. So, proficiency tests play a crucial role in language learning and can serve as a goal for learners to work towards in order to demonstrate their language skills. And then global competence in a language. So proficiency test assesses global competence in a language rather than focusing on specific courses or skill. So it is often used to determine a learner's level of competence of speaking, listening, reading, and writing in a particular language. So in previously we have learned about diagnostic tests. So in diagnostic tests, they they want to measure in particular aspect, in some aspects such as pronunciations. Meanwhile, in proficiency test, it is assesses global competence such as in speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And then used for various purposes. So these tests can be used for various purposes such as language certifications, admissions, admission to educational institutions, and then employment requirements or personal development. So in various purposes, I will explain in the example. And I will give you 5 examples of proficiency tests. The first is TOEFL or Test of English as a Foreign Language. So it is very familiar to us because we have seen that there are so many TOEFL tests. And so this test measures English proficiency for non-native speaker looking to study or work in English-speaking countries. So it is assesses reading, listening, speaking, and writing skills. And then IELTS or International English Language Testing System. IELTS is another widely recognized English proficiency test used for similar purposes. It is also assesses reading, listening, speaking, and writing skill, and it is accepted by many universities and organizations and worldwide. So the differences between TOEFL and IELTS is, so TOEFL is used in American, meanwhile IELTS in British country, such as in UK. And then the third is Cambridge English Exams or Cambridge Certificate of Proficiency English or CPE. So these exams are administered by the University of Cambridge and assesses English proficiency at various levels, including CPE, which is the highest level. And then there is TOEIC. What is TOEIC? It is test of English for international communications. So TOEIC measures English proficiency in a business context, often used by companies to assess employees' English skill. So TOEIC usually used for work for our company requirements. Meanwhile, in TOEFL and IELTS, it is also for work, but usually used for study or to administer to a university. And then the last is PTE Academic or Pearson Test of English Academic. So this computer-based test assesses English language proficiency for academic purposes and is accepted by university in many countries. So in CPE, they use advanced technology. So the strength from PTE Academic is the result is more accurate, and it's usually used for academic purpose and also accepted by university in many countries. Okay, that's all from me, and the next material is about aptitude test, which will be delivered by Ainah. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Now I want to explain you about language aptitude test. Language aptitude test is designed to measure capacity or general ability to learn a foreign language and then ultimate success in the undertaking. Language aptitude test also are ostensible, designed to apply to the classroom meaning of any language. And then there are 2 standardized aptitude tests have been used in the unit set. The first is modern language aptitude test or MLET, and then the second is the future language aptitude battery or PLEB. Both are English language tests and then require students to perform a number of language-related tasks. And then the MLET, for example, consists of 5 different texts. 5 texts in the modern aptitude test, there are 5. Yes, there are 5. The first is number learning, the second is phonetic script, and the third is spelling clue. 4 is a word in sentence, and the last 5 is paired associate. The first is number learning. Number learning, examiners must learn set of number to oral input and then discriminate different combination of the number of this number. And then phonetic script is examiners must learn a set of correspondence between speech sound and then phonetic symbol. And the third is spelling clue. Spelling clue is examiners must read words that are spelled somewhat phonetically and then select from the list the one word whose meaning is close to the designed word. And the fourth is word in sentence. Word in sentence, like examiners are give a keyword in the sentence and then are then asked to select a word in the second sentence and the performs the some grammatical function and ask the keyword. And MLE and LEB show some significant correlation with the student final performance in the language course. Success in the measure by talk processing and then memorization and then puzzle solving, and the last, no student have shown the text can achieve communicative success in the language. Okay, maybe that's all from me. I'm back to moderator.
Okay, thank you so much for all the presenters. And here are our reference. Maybe that's all from us. Thank you so much for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.